Okay, BMW E60 M5. I'm going to have a look at giving the car an oil change today. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, well, geez, there's hundreds of oil change videos on YouTube, but there's a couple of extra things you need to think about with these cars. Now, the first thing is the sumps is broken up into two chambers, a front and a rear. Now, on the earlier cars, there was only a drain plug in the rear chamber, and I think it's from 2007 onwards there was a drain plug in the front and the rear. So if you've got one of the earlier cars, what you need to do is get the oil nice and warm. You'll be looking at getting it to minimum 70 degrees, and then what we're going to do is run the engine for at least 1 minute before we drain the oil out, and that way the oil in the front chamber will be constantly pumped into the rear while the engine's running. And when we switch it off, we should be able to drain most of the oil out if we're quick enough. And of course these cars don't have a dipstick, so we'll check the oil level through the dash display, so we'll have a look at that when we get to it. And all we're going to be using today is the Castrol Edge 10W60 supercar. It used to be called TWS, the same stuff, recommended for BMW M cars. Going to need 10 litres of it because the car takes approximately 9 litres altogether. And then we're using a Marley oil filter. I'd use a Marley or a MAN branded one. There are cheaper ones out there, but they have been known to come apart, these paper element ones. So the first thing we're going to do is take the car for a drive, get the oil nice and warm. Yeah, you want to be looking minimum 70 degrees. Get her jacked up, nice and level. We'll drain her out. Okay, we've got the oil nice and warm now. Got the car jacked up on 4 axle stands. So you're better off having the car nice and level rather than just the front end up in the air. More likely to get more oil out the engine by having it nice and level. So next thing we'll do, we'll start her up, we'll run it for at least a minute and then shut her off and drain the sump straight away. So we're under the car now. That's where the drain plug is. On the earlier models it's a 6mm Allen. You want a decent sized drain pan as well because you're going to be draining about 9 litres out. Okay, so while that's draining out and doing its thing, we can get access to the oil filter, which is under this panel on the right hand corner of the front splash shield. There's 2 Torx T25 bolts holding it and 2 screws from the inner wheel well there. Just drops out. So there we are, so now we can see the oil filter housing there. Now this has got a drain plug in the centre of it, which we're going to remove first. It's another 6mm Allen, and then to get the cap off the oil filter housing, it's a 24mm regular socket. Okay, so we've got the oil filter kit here. So we've got the oil filter obviously, and then we've got a large O-ring there for the oil filter housing cap, a small O-ring for the oil filter housing drain plug, and we've got 2 copper washers there for your sump drain plugs. Obviously we only need 1 for this because we've just got the 1 rear drain plug. Right, we've got the filter cap out the car here, giving it a good clean up, got the new filter in there, the new large O-ring lubed up with some fresh oil, and when the cap was still on the car I reinserted the drain plug with the new O-ring, again just lubed up with some fresh oil. So we'll install that back in the car. It's a 24mm socket. So we've got the pan full of old oil here, and if you have a look on the level markings, you can see that we've drained 9 litres out of the car with the method that we used. So that just that 1 minute run in before we drain the oil does the trick, as long as you got it nice and warm. Okay, so we're ready to fill her up with oil again now. Obviously we don't have a dipstick with this car, so the way we're going to do it is we're going to pour 8 litres in there, and then we're just going to check the level on the dash, see where we're at, and then top her up as needed. Okay, so once you've got 8 litres of oil in the engine, we're going to start it up, we're going to let it run, let the temperature build up. We want to see at least 70 degrees on the oil temp gauge, and then we're going to scroll through the menu with the BC button to see the oil level on your dash, press and hold it for 2 seconds, and it'll take a few moments to check the level, and then it'll give us a reading. Okay, so we've been running the engine for a few minutes now and we're well above 70 degrees. So we've just scrolled through on the display to the oil level indicator there. Now we're going to press and hold the BC button. You'll see it's reset there. And now it'll recalibrate the reading. Might take a few moments and then it'll show us the new reading. And then we'll top up the oil as required. Okay, we've got our oil level reading here. Now the 2 arrows there represent the last litre of your oil fill, minimum and maximum. So we've got 0.3 litres above our minimum line there, so we'll be looking to put 700ml in, and that'll just bring us nicely up to the max. And then we'll run the engine again, we'll take the reading again, and then we'll just double check that. Okay, so we've topped the oil up, so again we're going to press the BC button to scroll through to the oil level reading. and then again we're just going to press and hold that with the engine running. So we've got the clock symbol there. We'll let go and we'll let that just do its thing and see what we get this time. And as you can see there, now I've got it topped up, we've got the oil level perfect, the 1 litre above the minimum line. So it's not too much of a big deal not having the dipstick, it just takes a bit more messing around. So once you've got that done, just have another look under the car, make sure there's no leaks from where you've disrupted everything, and then put the old filter cover back on, you're all good to go. If you found the video useful, don't forget to like or subscribe. Thanks for watching.